Welcome in this place. Welcome in this place. Uh, welcome in, welcome back. I'm small and up and coming, and I've been live multiple times today. That equals there's a possibility notifications may or may not be sent out. Let's see. Oh, okay. Couple people popped in. Hey, hey, welcome, welcome. Hit that thumbs up, double tap that screen, please and thank you. I'm live directly in the app. Yes, I am. And I'm about to talk about a case that I haven't mentioned before because I ain't been on here that long again. And this case been going on for the case itself been going on for over a year. The situation goes way longer than that. Jarvis Butts, this guy in Detroit, Michigan, and he is accused of unaliving. Well, nah, he just got convicted. I don't have to say accused. A little girl. I ain't gonna take too long to get to it because this is probably gonna be another short one. But um, so here's the backstory. There was this guy, this grown man. His name is Jarvis Butts. Okay. He was seeing this lady, she's a twin, and her niece was in her mom's care, under her mom's care, where the mom wasn't really caring for her. The mom is a money hungry, greasy, grubby snake in the mud and allowed this girl to be in harm's way. And I very well think that she knew the girl was in harm's way, but hey, it happened to her, they say. That is the mom. It happened to her daughters, they say. So she fed her granddaughter to the wolves all for the love of money. Well, anyway, her daughter's boyfriend slash baby daddy, he wasn't really the boyfriend because apparently he had women all over town. A comer and a goer. Hello, hello, welcome in. If you listening to me, double tap that screen. Give me a like, please. It's free 99. He had women all over town. And anyway, he was back and forth with her, giving her babies and then going and doing whatever. And he was touching children. So the little girl that disappeared and is reportedly not alive because he finally told them that, but he told them where he put the body supposedly, but according to the locals, that's not true, or they probably would have recovered the body or the body's way somewhere else, right? Because how long he took. He's just a total douche. And so anyway, this guy got sentenced, and here's what made me click go live. First of all, I looked at the case loosely. A friend of mine had told me about this case. She was following it more closely, and it's funny because now that I saw he got sentenced today, I didn't call her. She ain't called me back. Why she mess around and call me back while I'm on this live? Because we need to talk about this. Like, I'll be back, girl. What is you doing? But anyway, he got sentenced today. Look, like as soon as I said that, my phone lit up. Hold on one second. Let me see. Cause listen, girl, you can come on this live. Okay. Let me see. It says review to hold on one second, y'all. Every time I go live, something happened. Hold on. Let me see. It says no, that is more options. Request a different item. Hold on one second, y'all. Of course, I'm live, and of course, I'm doing something, and of course, guess what? The I had placed the order, and they don't have the order that I want, and this person wants to. They don't have the item that I want, and this person wants to give me a flavor that I absolutely do not like. I asked for a strawberry kiwi Gatorade. They don't have it. They said they're gonna replace it with berry, probably because it's the same color, but it is disgusting. Let me see. Hershey chocolate caramel. I'll try chocolate caramel. I had ordered the chocolate creamer, and I guess the notification say Tap to review the replacement items. My bad, y'all. Every time I go live, my phone start going. And I gotta look at this real quick. Keep your phone in the case of it. Because I gotta make sure that my order is right. What is this? It says no. Still. Yeah. So the other creamer that I wanted, what did I order? I ordered chocolate creamer and I ordered, I don't remember, another creamer. First they want to give me peppermint. It's ugh, ugh, gag me with a spoon. Ugh, disgusting. Ugh, I can't. I don't I like peppermint occasionally, but not in coffee. Ugh, that's disgusting. You know what? I don't even remember what other flavor creamer I got. Oh, I know. I had got Snickers. I guess they don't have no Snickers. So hold on 1 second, y'all. Damn. Literally, my phone was quiet. Request a refund. Forget that one. Are you sure you want to refund this item? Yes. Okay, fine. Boom. So there's that. Oh, my bad. Eh, I've been live back and forth all day, and I promise you everything be cool. And each time that I hit live, something started happening. Hopefully everybody didn't leave. Now I gotta remember what I was saying. I was right in the middle of talking about this douchebag Jarvis Butts in this case where he made this little girl disappear. He took forever to even tell them what happened. And I only want to talk about a couple of things that happened during the sentencing. First of all, it seems like he's gonna be put away for a long, long time, and hopefully he be put away wet, rolled hard. I think that's how they say it, rolled hard and put away wet. That's what he need. That's what needs to happen to him while he's incarcerated because he had already done 10 years for touching minors. And he got out and like the judge said, almost immediately went back to the same behavior. He had this little 13-year-old that he had been messing with for years. Like think, uh, uh, he was acting like that was his girlfriend or something. He's sleeping with the child. He's sleeping with her aunt. He's sleeping with the aunt's sister, which is her twin. I mean, just disgusting. He slept with his own he touched his own daughter. He tried to touch another child in the family. Thankfully, her family, that child's immediate family was strong enough to keep her away from there. He touched many a children. Thankfully, too, that his sister was strong enough to speak up and tell the truth about her brother. As hard as that is, I get it. That's your brother. Especially, she say he used to follow her around. The other brothers say she was like a mother figure to them. So, like, that had to be so difficult, and I empathize with her, and I pray for her. I'm sending prayers up for that sister because she's got to be struggling right now, but she absolutely did the right thing. She did the right thing because when people don't speak up, that's how these monsters just continue to do what they do. That's how they get so many victims. When it comes to the little girl, Naziah Harris's grandmother, I believe that the grandmother knew what was going on and she fed her to the wolves because Jarvis was probably throwing her a couple of bucks. She money hungry. I believe that the twins knew what was going on and it was just status quo to them and they just let it happen. And so if it hadn't been for the ones that were strong enough to like speak up, and also, I mean, not only that, it's the fact that she disappeared and they had to do something. But anyway, here's the thing. Thankful. I'm just thankful for people who are strong enough to actually speak up. Because a lot of times, and the reason this is such a frequent occurrence is because it's one of those ones. Oh my goodness, these updates every single time. I get wait, what? Oh, come on. My chips too? Y'all, my bad. She refunded my chip. I wanted the damn chips more than anything. Oh, my Gatorade is off. Oh, come on. I should just went to the Why didn't I just go to the store myself? Why? Why didn't I just go to the store myself? I ordered plain pork rinds. She didn't even give me a choice on the pork rinds. I guarantee you they had pork rinds in the store, but she just refunded it. I don't care about the creamer. I actually have some chocolate creamer in there. I was just going to get liquid. Back on track. And I don't think I have to do any more updates for my order. So, my bad, y'all. Thanks for your patience. Somebody, please double tap the screen. Help me get a like if you don't mind. And understanding while I'm all over the place. Imma try not to do that the next time I go live because Imma do another one. I mean, Imma try not to be all over the place that time, but shit, the damn phone and there we go. It's still popping up. What is she doing now? She said your shopper couldn't find you won't be charged for it. She couldn't find it, but I replaced it. Oh, Lord. You know what? Forget it. I'm just gonna let them refund. I'm not gonna keep looking at my phone. I'm gonna let them refund whatever they refund. I'm gonna go to the store myself tomorrow, which is what I should have done in the first damn place. Okay. That's just how that goes. I go to that store all the time. I get that exact same. The creamer may or may not have been there, but the Gatorade, I go there all the time and they always have it. Always, always, always. And out of the stores in the area, that's the one that has that flavor. Okay, whatever. So let me get off my soapbox and get back to my live. My phone. I want to start going off about my order as soon as I go live. And I placed that order at least 30 minutes ago. But the people failed the little girl, and just it's a good thing that there are people who are strong enough to speak up and speak out. It's too bad that Jarvis didn't get stopped before he harmed so many lives. But there's a few victim impact statements that I want to highlight. Now, I want to say one of them is his daughter, whom he touched, and she isn't in the category for the next statement that I'm going to make in terms of the impact statements. That's why I put her first so that I could separate her. The other ones, I want to say impact statements, if that's what they insist on calling it, because it was the grandmother and it was also the twin. I think that was a twin sister. It was a twin sister, and yeah, it was a twin sister. And it was like, are you really a victim? Because you're kind of complicit in what happened. You allowed it to happen. You didn't do anything to protect that little girl. That little girl needed them, and they sold her to the wolves. They knew exactly what was going on. They knew exactly. The buzz around the folks knew what was going on. And then the little girl was with child, and he offed her, just like the it was a guy in Jacksonville, Florida. Damn, I forgot his name right now. And he had the same thing go. His story is different. What he did is similar, but the difference between his name was Jonathan something. It's coming back to me. Jonathan, I'll think of the last name, in Jacksonville, Florida. The difference in his story is the family was absolutely not for it. Nah, the wife turned a blind eye and seems like she didn't know. I kind of want to believe that she didn't completely know, but she probably had a clue just based off of certain things that she said. Other family members, I really don't think that they knew. They didn't seem like it. Some of them, like the one auntie, I just don't think they knew. The family in that situation, I don't think they knew. Now, when it comes to Naziah, the grandma knew. The I got a phone again. The auntie knew, they knew. I'm not you refunding more items. What's happening now? Um, so your order. Okay, they knew. That's the difference, and they fed her to the wolf. So now that I said that, here's the back to the impact statements. Okay, I promise you. I think I'm gonna turn this phone face down so I can stop being distracted. Back to the impact statements. So they, I don't. It's not fair to call them victims because they're not victims. They were complicit in it. So And what it sounded like, it didn't sound like a grandmother who was very upset that something happened to her grandchild. She first of all, she had her hair in a way that it flows. She sat, on the stand with this fake cry when she did move her head and shake her head, and you could get a casual, occasional glimpse of her, parts of her face. It wasn't a tear in sight. Now, anybody in the courtroom could say otherwise, but it didn't seem to be no tears in sight. It was over dramatized, theatrics, okay? And obviously to me, the people in the courtroom felt the same because somebody yelled out, "Shut up!" in the middle of the grandmother's so-called victim impact statement. And I'm just going to admit here that I didn't listen to the whole thing through because she was getting on my nerves with the over theatrics and what she was saying. I couldn't listen to it. Your grandchild is no longer here because this freaking demon monster, pedo, um, um, was doing what he was doing to her, and you knew it, and you fed her to the wolves, and you didn't care that it was happening to her, and now you over here fake crying, talking about yourself. I'm like, wait, so when you do a victim impact statement, don't most people get up there and talk about their person, however that person is related to them? So in this case, her granddaughter, wouldn't her statement have been completely about the granddaughter? My granddaughter was this, my granddaughter, you might say how you miss her. You might say the things you loved about her. You might ask him, where is she for real? Because like they didn't find her body. So why didn't the grandmother take that opportunity to look him in the eyes and be like, "You damn demon, where the hell is my granddaughter at? We still haven't found her body." She didn't do that. She didn't look at him like, "You freaking demon, I'll let my granddaughter go work for you." And you touched her. You used her. You took advantage of us. She didn't do that. She want to sit up there and fake cry. She want to sit up there and fake act like she cares so much or she's so bothered by what's happening. I. That's all I heard was me. That's what she been doing the whole time. Like you can't even see past yourself, and that's what you did when that girl was alive, and talking about money you know what I'm saying? You taking a loss of money. Who gives a damn about you losing money? Probably the money she was getting from the state from having her granddaughter in her care, and apparently, I'm just gonna say allegedly because I think I'm supposed to, but the oldest daughter at one point did an interview, and the oldest daughter have experienced some similar things to what I'm not the grandmother's name is Annette. Annette's oldest daughter, who is Naziah, which is the granddaughter, the teenager that was um unalived at 13, while she was with child for Jarvis Butts, the man that just got sentenced in that case. So Annette's oldest daughter basically have experienced some of the same things, in terms of pedo in her own home under, her mom's reign. And the oldest daughter is I don't even know if I can say the D word on here because this algorithm is so funny, but that substance. She's on those. Um, and it seems like even her family members that have spoken out is saying like that Naziah's mother is on those substances because she was running away from, her past. I guess that was her way of dealing with her trauma or whatever. So it's like the grandma Annette has a history. She has a history. So she gonna sit up there and she gonna say, me, money, money, money. I thought this was about your granddaughter. Where's your anger? You don't have to act a donkey while you sitting up there in the court because they ain't gonna let you do no yelling and all of that. But what all I saw was some fake crying. Why you not mad? You supposed to be mad. This man did what he did to your granddaughter, and now she is gone. She's no longer with us. And where is her body? Where's her body at? He gave a fake confession to say a confession of where her body is that they still haven't recovered. What did you do with her for real? Why was you pumping that little girl who was underage and not at an age to consent? Even his own child. What about the other child that he had touched at 8 years old? Like, what the heck? These are all her close relatives, but there was no anger. There was no anger. All she did was sit there and fake cry and then pretend like she can't talk anymore when somebody told her to shut up, but she was just looking for an excuse because she didn't want to anyway. She probably felt like she had to, or she would look a certain way if she didn't, but she looked that way whether she didn't or whether she did what she actually did. So she should have just stayed away anyway, cuz we don't need you. Like, what is your purpose? You served no real purpose. You shouldn't have had that child in your possession. Neither should she have had any of those other kids under her reign. She is a horrible human being. She shouldn't even gave birth, honestly, because she didn't do a good job mothering her children. Okay. And that's from the stories that have come out from the family. That's what I'm speaking on. They've done plenty of interviews, various family members. If you're not familiar with it, go and find, just search Jarvis Butt's case. And you will find that it's Annette Harris is the grandmother's name. So and Naziah Harris is the victim. I mean, one of the victims. She's the victim that's unalived. There's other victims, like I said, and a couple of minors that even spoke out at the trial because he got charged with, I want to say it was 4 counts from what I was listening. I believe I counted 4 counts that it was of what they call it, I'm gonna say the pedoism. I'll say it like that since I got to be careful about this algorithm. Oh, but actually, when the one lawyer spoke, it was actually originally 6 counts that he had gotten charged with pedo activity. But then uh they had pled he took a plea deal. So in the plea deal he got charged with 4, so 2 of them got dropped. So the unaliving of Naziah Harris plus 4 of the touching of minors um were the charges that he pled to, and then dropped 2 more of the touching charges. And the ages of the minors, some of them was under 13, some of them was up to 17. And so it's they're all over, because like I said, the one girl was 8 years old. Like I said, Naziah Harris was 13. Like, what the, you freaking, oh my gosh. Oh, I can't. I just have to take a pause. I should have said, trigger warning, trigger warning, trigger warning. I might have to put that in the title because, trigger warning. I'm gonna edit it when I'm done with this, and I'll put trigger warning in there because this is a tough conversation to have. And then there's the other two that I'll get to, and wrap this up. Um, the, um, the twin. The twin sister got on there and she talked about how this affected her. She talked about losing or not being able to get jobs, losing jobs, being homeless since this happened, and how this affected her life. That's what she had to say. So I'm like, you are so upset at what happened to your niece, niece that you can't get up here and just talk about. You can't just get up here and just talk about your niece. Like, your whole focus is not on your niece, it's actually on yourself. That is literally crazy to me. To me, that's crazy. It doesn't make sense. Like, you homeless. So should have protected that child. I don't mean to be harsh, but Imagine how things would be different had they protected that child. I lost my children. Yeah, rightfully so. You let that happen to your niece. If you and your daughter is one of the victims. Your daughter is one of the victims. So maybe kids should not be in your care because you allow grown men to, you know what, them. Yeah. And so you lost, so you are now without a place to stay. Probably too, because when you have children and you need a little help, you can get some help off the system. But without having those children, it's maybe a little bit more difficult. But that's her fault. She should have been a better adult and protected the children. Like, okay, so who cares? Sucks to be you. I can't get a job. I've been physically attacked in public, beat up. Okay, well, then learn a lesson. If you give birth again, or if you ever get your children back in your protection, don't let grown men have their way with them. That'll teach you. Okay, now, here, this is where it gets sad. The child. There's a child that was his child that gave an victim impact statement, and it was just so sad. I'm telling you. I was sitting there fighting back tears listening to this girl bawl her eyes out. She talked about how this has affected her life, how it has changed her life totally. Yes, because look what happened at such a young age. It's so sad. She talked about how she said it changed her. I guess I'll say it because I don't know what this algorithm to change so much. I don't know what I can and can't say, but she said it changed her sexuality. I'm like, dang. She was bawling her eyes out. She said Naziah was her favorite cousin and her best friend. So she done had to lose her favorite cousin slash best friend slash sister because they're cousins, but they're being raised together. So they're like sisters. Her own father is the one that touched her. She said that she don't have a father no more, rightfully so, because fathers don't do that to their daughters. She said it changed her sexuality. So she don't even, because of what this man did to her, she don't even want to be with. You'll get what I'm saying? Like it made her change that way. Like this man, and she was so young. It's like he's just a monster and a demon. Like, and hopefully he never sees the light of day again. Cause he, after doing 10 years and getting out, you'd think you'd do better. But no, he went right back to his old ways and was out for years and got away with it. And he was young enough that he came out and he was still young. But this time, okay, he get that M word conviction. They gave him 30 to 65 years. And he's around 40. I forgot his age. I'm about to look it up real quick. Um and I'm just loosely speaking on it because I was following it closely, but I did get super busy, so I wasn't really watching the case like that anymore. But I'm just keeping up from here to, I was looking for the sentencing. I knew they had done snap when you try to type something quick. 43. Okay, that's what I was thinking. In his early 40s. He is let me see. Reports 20 to identify him as 43. Previous reports. Okay, yeah. So that's what they say. They say that he is 43 years old. He was sentenced to 35 to 65 years in prison for second degree M word and multiple counts of criminal, XUO um what they call it, conduct. That is crazy. And he sat there in court with his shoulders slumped over and his head facing down, looking down at the ground, blinking a mile a minute. He would not look up. He had a face mask over his face. You know how you put it on and it's on a little bit, but you know how you put the little blue hospital mask, but you stretch that thing all the way out. That's how he had it. He covered as much of his face as he possibly could cover. But the thing about it is, it's wrong. It's wrong. What he did to that little girl, he should be exposed. They should show his whole face. There's no way he should have been able to wear a face mask, but he's a prisoner. And who know, he might have faked symptoms of, the ovid. He might have faked that or some other stuff that got him to the point where every time he end up in court, he end up wearing that mask. He could be playing the system. And also I want to go back to Annette's the grandma's statement when she was sitting there talking about, and this man I didn't know was coming to my house. Shut the I wanted to scream and cuss at the screen when she was talking. That's why I had to skip through it a little bit. Cause I'm like, shut your dumb ass up. You know damn well that you knew that man was up in there. It's already been proven. Shut your monkey tail up. You let that girl go. You was her fucking guardian. You was supposed to keep up with her. How the hell is a girl that young and under your care and you're not knowing where she's at all the time, and you're not knowing what's going on where she's at? Why in the would you let a child that age go hang out with a convicted child utcher? Why would you do it? Excuse me for the rage, the anger, the rage just bursts out. There's no way he should have ever been left alone with children of any gender. He's already proven um that he can't keep his hands off of children, i.e., by being convicted of it and having previously been on the, actual offender registry. So she was derelict in her duties for allowing the child to be around him unattended. Oh, they was helping clean up the shop. And let me tell you something. When a child goes across that line, if you will, I don't want to call it a line when it's age appropriate and consensual, even if it's teenagers and they both consent, when they both can, when it's a situation where they can. When a kid switches or young adult, whatever, when a person switches from never being touched to having been touched, you see the freshness. You see the freshness. Someone under your care was being touched in that way and you didn't see the change in them. Either you were an ostrich and your head was in the sun, or you a duck ball face liar. A grown woman that raised three daughters. And you mean to tell me you couldn't look at your granddaughter and see the difference in her, and both of your granddaughters that lived in the house with you, and see the difference in them? You could see it. You could see it. So anyway, you didn't want to see it, but you saw it and you knew. You just didn't care because you was getting what you needed. The money for them being there, him probably putting money in your hand, bringing stuff to you, charming you, and you thought it was okay because you went through it. You let your kids go through it. Allegedly, that's what they said. Your people, all the folks that talked, that spoke out. That's what they all said. And like I said, anybody listening, you can go and check all the other folks out here. They have tons of content on it where they've spoken to people in the neighborhood and the family members. They've spoken to the cousin. They've spoken to the mother of Naziah. They've spoken to Naziah's brother. There's different ones that did interviews and they've told all kinds of things. They've interviewed this one guy interviewed the boyfriend of the twins, and the twins were there, so the twins kind of did they were participating in that interview, and basically said they always share. That's why I said that Jarvis had both of the twins and also had the niece and well, to the twins, each of those is a niece because one's a daughter of one of them, and then the other one is the niece to both of them. So That would make her a niece to the other twin. But anyway, that's crazy. And I'm gonna wrap this up in just a minute. If you are listening to the sound of my voice, please hit that like button. Double tap that screen, please and thank you. Yeah, just wanted to touch base on that. And then I'm gonna wrap it up by going back to the daughter that gave her statement. She cried, cried, cried so hard. And it's just really sad. It's really sad that she had to live in that environment. She had to have those derelict parents, you know what I mean? Yeah, parents, because that's her father that did it, and it's her mother that allowed it. You know what I mean? And I can't imagine what that mother was saying to the daughter, but I hope that it is nothing like what the one that was on and off again with Jarvis was saying to Naziah, you know, because when she was texting her and communicating with her, she was talking to her as if the girl, as if her niece was like competition for her man, for her, competition for the aunt for the man, even though she want to pretend like she didn't know what was going on. Some people are nuts. I want to say women, but men do it too. Some people are just nuts. Like, it's literally, it doesn't make sense. Like, if you a grown woman for real and you standing in your grown womanhood and you are dealing with a man who wants children, you ought to be disgusted. First of all, you disgusting. Second of all, if I ever find out or even have an inclination that you for real are with children or thinking about it, I'm reporting you. That's don't even sweat it. You ain't even gotta blink too many times like you did in court, because for you get too many of them blinks out, I'm already on your ass. Children are off limits. That's first of all. And it's also gross when you watch somebody grow up and you was already like super grown, and then as soon as they old enough, you over there down through that, you a perv as well. How the hell is you attracted to someone who likes children and you want to see the children as competition? Did you ride the short bus? Because everything about the way that twin handled it, the baby mama to Jarvis, gives short bus short bus activity. You slow. Anyway, I just want to say what I want to say about that case. Like, I just cannot believe I just can't believe that it was a family of full of them. You know what I mean? Just allowing these little girls to get touched and like serving them up to this wolf. You know, he wasn't in sheep's clothing. He was just a freaking wolf out there. He knew what he was. They knew what he was. He found the right family to play in. So he figured he'd just stick around and play in it because it was being allowed. It's pretty ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And thankfully it has come to an end, but sad to say that the young lady, Naziah Harris, this child had to lose her life behind it. That's the sad part. Really is. And prayers up for healing for all of his victims, the real victims, not the fake victims like that grandma, the auntie, none of them, not them ones, but the actual victims, for his daughter, for his sister, because the sister is a victim too. She came up to that shop to get her car fixed, and I know she wasn't planning to be a part of anything like this, but like, what a mess. And now she got to mentally deal with, you know, it's that older sister. You want to protect your younger brother. That's like your baby. But then at the same time, especially with the lives that they had, where she really was like they baby, because, you know, they was pulled away from the mom at some point. Um, but then you got to do the right thing. And then on top of it, triggering her trauma, because she said he knew that that had happened to her when she was a little girl. And he was like her, she thought, you know, I think at that time he was like her protector. So then for him to turn around and do the same thing, so now she it's weird. So now she got to turn around and face this, but also bringing up her trauma. Just prayers up for all of the victims. I hope and I pray that They find Naziah's body like very soon. Maybe this demon will go on and tell them where the body is, but a lot of times they won't. They won't. They just don't do it. Um but hopefully they will find her body very soon, so that there can be closure for those that need the closure. And so yeah, with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead on and I'm going to wrap up. Anybody that came through, thank you. If you are listening to this on the replay, please hit the like button, hit that thumbs up for me, please, and thank you. Over here on this channel, you get a little bit of this, you get a little bit of that, current events, hot topics, and some sector conversations, reactions, into stuff that's happening in the street sector, stuff that's happening in the Latrice Allen sector, so that kind of thing. And I am rebuilding my subscriber count. So if you are listening to this content, please subscribe, and also hype me up. Hey, I hype me up. Y'all, please hype me up. Boost me up in this algorithm. I greatly appreciate it. And with that being said, I'm closing it out. I am going to go ahead and get up out of here, and I am wishing for you peace.